Hello and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I'm Marissa Rathbun. I'm a North Carolina trick rider, and this is the first episode in my Hippology study series, and I'm going to be talking about the origin of the horse. Well-preserved fossils document that members of the horse family roamed the earth as long as 60 million years ago. Fossil evidence in the form of bones and teeth have been found along river valleys embedded in sand and sandstone. These early horse remains were found in what are currently the Great Plains of the United States. However, when Columbus discovered America in 1492, there were no horses present on the North American continent. Why these early ancestors of the modern-day horse disappeared in North America is still a mystery. Fossil evidence indicates that the earliest members of the Equidae family had 4 toes on each foot. These early horses were small and primitive animals compared to the horse as we know it today. The horse then evolved into an animal with 4 toes on the front feet and 3 toes on the hind feet. Its natural habitat and feeding area during this period was in the swamplands. As the horse evolved and grew in size, it changed into an animal with 3 toes on both the front and the hind feet, and it reached an adult height of about 24 inches, approximately the size of the modern-day miniature horse. Over time, the early horse evolved from a swamp browser to an animal that could survive in the forest, and eventually to a grazing animal of the grasslands or prairie. The horse is a herbivore and a simple-stomached, non-ruminant animal, meaning non-cud chewing. Equus was the first true horse. It appeared on Earth about 1 million years ago. Equus had 1 toe and 2 side bones on each foot. These side bones are known today as splint bones and are positioned to either side of the cannon bone of the horse. The horse and its close relatives are the only single-toed animals in the world today. Prior to the Ice Age, scientists hypothesize the horse may have migrated across a land bridge that connected today's Alaska and Siberia, but that today is underwater. This area of water is now known as the Bering Strait. After making their way to Siberia, horses migrated from Siberia to Asia and Europe. The 5 major forms of the horse as it evolved were the pre-horse, the Eohippus, Mesohippus, Merychippus, and Pleohippus. The pre-horse lived approximately 75 million years ago, had 5 toes on the front feet, and probably on the hind feet as well, and its teeth were low and crowned. The Eohippus lived approximately 58 million years ago, 4 toes on the front feet and 3 toes, and a splint on the hind feet. It was about 1 foot tall, the size of a beagle dog or a large house cat. Its teeth were low and crowned. The Mesohippus lived approximately 38 million years ago. It had 3 toes. The middle toe was definitely bigger. All 3 toes touched the ground and carried the animal's weight. The 4th toe on the front feet was reduced to a splint. It was about the size of a collie dog or miniature horse. It was most likely a browsing animal, and the teeth were low and crowned. The Merychippus lived approximately 28 million years ago. It was a 3-toed animal, the middle toe bigger and touched the ground. The toes on either side did not touch the ground. It was about the size of a Shetland pony. It was a grass eater, and the teeth were high crowned and hard surfaced. The Pleohippus lived approximately 12 million years ago. It was the first 1-toed horse, 2 side toes reduced to splint bones. It was the forerunner of the modern-day horse, and thought to be about the size of a pony. It was a grazing animal that had high crowned teeth. The equus formed approximately 1 million years ago, farther developed into an animal with 1 toe, the 2 side toes evolving into 2 side bones, today known as splint bones. It was a full-sized horse, a grazing animal with high crowned teeth. Approximately 25,000 years ago, man hunted the horse and used the horse as a source of food. Approximately 6,000 years ago, the horse was first domesticated by man and was used for travel. Man could now travel across land that he could not cross before, and could travel farther and faster than he had ever been able to do by foot. Approximately 5,000 years ago, domestication of the horse had spread throughout Asia, North Africa, and Europe. The horse was used for travel, transportation, and war. Approximately 500 years ago, Columbus discovered America in 1492. Horses were brought to the New World shortly afterward by Spanish explorers. Approximately 400 years ago, between 1500 and 1650, Spanish explorers imported large numbers of livestock, including horses, to the missions and settlements being built in the Rio Grande Valley of North America. And approximately 300 years ago, between 1650 and 1750, the horse was re-established in the Great Plains of North America, where its ancestors were thought to have originated about 60 million years before. So to recap a little bit, what you're mostly going to hear about in hippology, the Eohippus was the first form of the horse. It had 4 toes on the front and 3 toes on the hind. The Mesohippus was the second form. It had 3 toes on front and back, and all 3 touched the ground. The Merychippus is the third form. It had 3 toes and only the middle touched the ground. The Pleohippus is the fourth form, and it was the first one-toed horse. The 2 side toes evolved into splint bones. And the Equus is the modern horse, and the toe is farther developed with the splint bones. A common junior horse bowl question is, what was the first use of the horse? And that would be food. Sadly. Then it was used for transportation, work, war, and recreation. Now we're going to talk about the scientific nomenclature of the horse. If you don't know, scientific nomenclature is the naming system by which all plants and animals are classified and given scientific names. All animals, including the horse, belong to the animal kingdom and are defined by a zoological classification. So it goes domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. There are a few ways to remember this, but I've found that Dear King Philip Came Over for Grandma's Specialty is the easiest for me. You can also make up your own if that works better for you. The domain is eukarya, which means organisms with cells that contain a distinct membrane-bound nucleus. So we're in eukarya, all animals are in eukarya, plants. You can think of you are a eukaryote. The kingdom is Animalia, which is meaning all animals. The phylum is Chordata, meaning they have a backbone. The class is Mammalia, meaning they're warm-blooded animals that have hair and give milk. The order is Perissodactylia, meaning an odd number of toes, hoofed animals, non-ruminant animals. This order includes the horse, donkey, zebra, and rhinoceros. The family is Equidae. All evolutionary ancestors and members of the horse family includes the horse, donkey, and zebra, but not rhinoceros. The genus is Equus. Close ancestors to the modern-day horse family includes horses, zebras, and donkeys. The species is Equus calibus. The modern-day horse family and close wild relatives have chestnuts on the inside of both the front and hind legs. Does not include donkeys and zebras. So a horse's scientific name is Equus calibus. Before I wrap up here, I'm going to talk just a little bit about donkeys and zebras. The donkey and zebra are part of the scientific family of horses known as Equidae. The scientific classification of the domestic donkey is Equus asinus. As far as can be documented, the donkey was domesticated in the Middle East, most likely in Egypt. Well-preserved drawings of donkeys appear beginning around 3400 BC, or approximately 5,400 years ago. Donkeys are genetically similar to the horse, however they have 1 fewer chromosome pair. Horses and ponies have 32 chromosome pairs, and domestic donkeys have 31 chromosome pairs. Donkeys have chestnuts on the inside of only the front legs, not the hind legs. Even with these differences, donkeys are very close relatives to the horse. In fact, the donkey can successfully be bred to the horse. The offspring of a male donkey and a female horse is a mule, and the offspring of a male horse and a female donkey is a hinny. I hope this was helpful for your studying. In the next video, I'm going to start talking about breeds. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.